We are here today with a very, very special guest and a special segment here in our program. And this was going to make our new year. So, because this gentleman that we are about to talk to is so special to the industry, to the film industry. And he is someone you all know. He's a household name, a character actor that we are going to talk to today. Of course, you know him as an actor. He's also a voice artist, a screenplay mentor, a photographer, and he's just done so much in his life that he is someone we feel he's in our homes when we watch his movies, or in the theaters when we watch his movies. And today I have this amazing opportunity to talk to him and talk about his journey as well as a little bit about himself. Very, very honored and happy to welcome on the airwaves of Funasia Radio, Mr. Boman Irani. Good morning.
Good morning, Shabnam, and good morning to all those who actually on New Year's Day, at 8:30 in the morning, have tuned in. It's so wonderful to be here in Houston, and so wonderful to talk to you on Sun Radio, Shabnam.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you. What brings you to the United States at this time?
All right, so my wife, my son, my older son, and I are here. We've been here for a few days. The North American Zoroastrian Congress. We are Parsis, as you know, and so about 750 Parsis from all over the world actually have turned up for this Congress here in Houston, and I was called in as the keynote speaker. And we had a great time, bonding with people from our own community. It's good sometimes.
Yes, this is really nice. I think what brings people here together also is community. Many a times we have seen that when we get people of the same faith, of the same thinking, get together, it's what makes our lives so much better, I would say. And
Shabnam, I'm glad you said that, because we must not become too insular, number one, and just stick to our community and just say that this is my community and this is the way we are going to be. We have to become more inclusive and go out in the world, meet different people, different cultures, different worlds. But at the same time, what's happening with the Parsi community, because the community is so tiny.
Yeah.
It is about 75,000 Parsis left on this planet. It is very important that we regroup and understand each other and support each other, and then go out in the world and do your thing. But it's such a small community. People are quite amazed at the statistic. There is just 75,000 Parsis left in the world.
Wow.
So it's very important that we have congresses like this, for us to be, increase our numbers, figure out what we are doing, how do we support, to encourage our youngsters to go out there and do something noteworthy, right? Things like that.
And that's a rather small number. I would never have guessed it's that small a number. And I have had the opportunity to work with, while we are talking about the Parsis, I'd like to mention, I used to work for the Taj hotels, and I had an opportunity to work with some beautiful souls in the Parsis, and they're dear, dear friends of mine.
In the Taj, 2 years, 79 and 80. I worked in room service and I worked in the restaurant. In the Taj,
and got to work with many beautiful peoples. I love your community, and I have a few friends here also. Of course, Farhad, but many others also here.
Farhad Wadia is a citizen of the planet. He's whatever you want him to be, he'll become that. Farhad is one of those rare souls that we're all proud to know.
Yes.
I'm so glad that we are connected through Farhad Wadia.
Yes, he's very dear to us, to all of us here at Fun Asia. So let's start. I know we won't have time to go through the entire journey, but let's do a nutshell. How's that? Started with.
Shabnam, come on, everybody. We're nutshelling.
Yes, let's do it. We are going to start, and I know you started rather late in life, but you have achieved so much in the latter, I would say, part of your life. And were you in your 40s when you started?
I was 44 when Munna Bhai released. That was my first commercial film that got released. It was 44.
And that just brought you into the limelight.
I'll say this, I got famous at 44. I was doing whatever I wanted to do before that. So the thing is that people equate fame and success. Sure, fame and success are, go hand in hand. But when I was at the Taj as a waiter, I really thought I was a successful waiter. When I was a shopkeeper selling chips and I was a dukandar, I thought I was a successful shopkeeper. When I was, a photographer, I thought I was successful in my head, a successful photographer. It's just that when you come into the public eye, people equate fame and you kind of made it. Sure, it's true, but no matter what you do in life, no matter how big or small the job may be, and I don't think anything is small in that sense, if you do your best, you are successful.
Yes.
That's it. That's my definition of success.
I like some quotes that I often read by Maya Angelou. And there's a poem in which one line says, even if you're a blade of grass by the highway, be the best blade of grass that you can be.
Right.
So whatever
Absolutely.
you do, and you've done that, and you've proven that in all your hobbies, careers, whatever it was that you were doing for us. And then, of course, we got to know you later in life, and Munna Bhai brought you here in front of all of us. And after that, so many movies. Dawn, 1, 2, 3, Houseful, 1, 2, 3, 4. So many movies you have made. I would like to ask you your favorite movie that you made, but I'll let me put it this way, your favorite role that you played.
Right. I'm not very good at this, but I'm asked this question many a time, and I'm always shying away from these questions because when I say favorite, I'm saying, I was so good, and it's a job at the end of the day. You do your job, you go home, some work, some don't. But for me, Khosla Ka Ghosla remains very, very dear to my heart. And also another one, which is a little-known film. It's called Well Done Abba, which I played the lead role in that film. And strangely, just last week, we lost a real doyen and a legend of Indian cinema, Mr. Shyam Benegal, and he directed that film. And I was so privileged to have spent those 35, 40 days with him. So Well Done Abba, little-known film, and I loved the role and character. But for me, the all-time favorite, personally, would be Khosla Ka Ghosla.
Really?
And I'll quickly tell you why, because this nutshell thing is not working. I tend to talk too much.
That's okay.
But because I got to play a character that lived outside of Bombay. I did not know too many people that lived outside of Bombay. And I played this Punjabi land grabber, and he was so delicious to play. And it kind of broke the barrier for me that people said, South Bombay Parsi boy, how is he going to survive in this industry? And I just went ahead and played that to the best of my ability, and the role still works. Still works.
Yes. I have to catch up on this movie now that I'm talking to you about it again. Both of them, actually. Both the movies you just mentioned. And you worked in other languages too, right?
Yes.
Besides Hindi?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
I've done Marathi films. I did a lovely Marathi film called Ventilator, which won the National Award for Best Picture. Mm-hmm. I've done a few Telugu films, which is actually a joy to work down there. I've done a Tamil film, and it's just wonderful to go and see how other actors and technicians and directors operate. It kind of widens your little perspective of life.
Yeah.
So, pleasure to work in South Indian cinema. Absolute pleasure. There's beautiful, organized, fast, respectful. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Really, yes, and they're doing so well, absolutely. I'm so glad you got that opportunity to work in these movies. But the other one, of course, that brought you so much to the forefront was Three Idiots. It was amazing. Is that one of your...
it's strange because while I was doing it, I just thought I was doing the most crabby old man, playing the most crabby man that everybody's going to hate, and because he was that kind of character. And while we were shooting it, not for a day or for a minute, I thought that people will be speaking about it after the movie, let alone 15 years after the movie. Yes. So for me, that role was grumpy, crabby, negative, backward, everything that people would dislike in a human being. I played that, and it was only 2 or 3 days after the movie release where people were saying they kind of like kids like that guy. I don't know why. Please, if somebody can explain to me why people like that character, I have no idea.
Well, it was the whole movie.
He's the kind of guy I would just keep at a distance.
No, but look at the amount of awards you got for it. Supporting actor, best villain, best performance in a negative role. They all got awards. So what if you were in the protagonist? But
no, I know what you're saying. I'm not talking about the craft or the performance. I'm just talking about the likability of that human being. I'm talking about the likability. So, what kind of a human being is he that you'd want to associate with somebody like that? Of course, you're right. The awards are a kind of manifestation of the craft.
Yes.
But people seem to like that guy, and I don't know why.
Interesting that you didn't like, or did you enjoy making it though? Even though you thought in the end of it that
walking around every day grumpily, sitting in the corner, frowning from morning to night, you can't pull a frown. You got to be spending the whole day and maybe the whole schedule being disgusted with the world, and only then the frown kind of comes out truthfully, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
So, except for the last 2 or 3 days when we were home and dry, I hardly interacted with anybody on that set. I used to be to myself. I would play chess by myself. I would read. And I'd hardly, go and have my meals at the wrong. It was not that I'm the most friendly person on a set. I like to be noisy and all over the place and sit around with everybody. But for that film, it was frown time.
I understand, yeah, and it was like almost physically to keep that on your face. You had to live it.
Yes.
And that was probably hard for someone like you because you're so bubbly,
Very
so
hard.
Chirpy.
Very hard.
Yes, I'm sure. Going back to Munna Bhai, tell us a little bit about your role there. Your personal, we know about your role and what you did and how well it did, but you tell us a little bit about what your feelings were, just like you did about Three Idiots.
So Munna Bhai happened after Vidhu Vinod Chopra saw a small experimental film which was shot on digital meaning Handycam, not even, iPhone is a better version of that. And we shot that in 7 days. It was an experimental film back in the day, 25 years ago, and Vinod Chopra comes and gives me a check and says, I want you in my next film. I said, what's your next film? He said, I don't have another film. I said, why are you paying me? He says, because you start doing Hindi films. You just polish up your Hindi, start doing Hindi films. You'll be a very, very busy actor. And then that time I don't want you to say that I don't have the dates. I said, you're joking? What are you talking about? Who's going to sign me up for, he's saying you'll be working nonstop. I said, okay. And he disappeared. And then 7 or 8 months later, he called and says, I've got a role for you. And I said, Munna Bhai MBBS. It didn't sound very exciting when he mentioned it. Didn't like the title, didn't like the character for some reason. Then I met Raju, and Raju kind of narrated the film to me with such passion and such belief and such truth that I said, this is the film I want to do, if at all I break into the Hindi cinema. And I was the guy who was probably signed on first. No, Vivek Oberoi was signed on before me. Sorry. And then he left to do Company. He said maybe Company would be a better, more gritty role for him, which probably was a good thought on his part. And then the movie didn't take off because nobody wanted to do the film. Nobody believed in it at that point of time. And then, it just came together when Sanjay Dutt, he was 44 years old himself when we cast him as a college student, And one by one, things started falling into place. At that point of time, Gracie Singh was the biggest star. She was. And the movie was a difficult movie to make because we didn't have the budget for it. There were no backers. And we just made it and decided, everybody said we'll take our fee after the movie if it makes money, because we all believed in the project. And we made the film. It kind of failed when it came out. Nobody went to see it. And then suddenly, one fine day, you can't keep a good thing down, right? And one fine day, everybody started noticing, recommending, word of mouthing, and Munna Bhai became what it became. Yeah, that's the story.
Word of mouth, I think, is so important here in our industry. people just take off, they listen to each other and they flock and they herd, and they'll just go after if somebody has done that. And that actually helps. So this is one huge example that you are giving right now about this movie not taking off, difficult to make. And yes, it had this, I'm sorry to say, but a terrible name when it came out, that nobody wanted to go really see it. And so then, but what a hit it become, and then the sequel also after that. It's amazing.
I love the sequel, by the way.
Yes.
I think Lagero Munawai is an exceptional film.
It is. So I'm going to, and I know you mentioned Shyam Benegal and Rajkumar Hirani, Sanjay Dutt, a few people here.
Right.
Give us one that you've really enjoyed working with. I'm sure you've enjoyed working with a bunch of people.
Everyone. I'm not saying this diplomatically, but when I go on a set and I know I'm going to spend 40 days with this bunch of people, I'll make it my business to get along with them, and I'll make it my business to have a good time. I'll make it my business to enjoy every interview that I do. I make it my business to have a meal that is meaningful. Even if the food is not good, we'll have fun. But to work with Shah Rukh Khan is quite a treat, I'll say.
Okay.
He's an amazing energy on a set. Everybody looks forward to his arrival. When he comes, there's suddenly the whole set is abuzz, and makes everyone comfortable, and it's fun. We are making entertainment. If we aren't entertained while making entertainment, then it's not going to work, let me tell you.
It's not going to show.
If we take ourselves too seriously, unless, of course, it's a very serious and gritty film. But if we are making stuff to entertain, we better feel entertained ourselves.
Yes, absolutely.
And the set has to be one where there is, enough levity to have fun, and enough discipline to make sure that we finish on time, and we are serious about our work at the same time. But working with Shah Rukh Khan, and if you're traveling with him and you're touring with him, oh my God, it's another treat. It's another treat, because he treats everybody with so much of love, respect, and inclusivity. He's the most inclusive person that I have met. His room door is always open. People can walk in, walk out. There's a bar waiting there. Then there's snacks and food always on one counter in his room. And there are games. And at night we play into the wee hours of the morning. We're playing games and having a picnic, basically.
Good.
And the next day we work very hard. But Shah Rukh Khan is the man. He is the man.
I'm so happy to hear his name, because he is definitely my favorite, and so I'm happy to hear such good words about him. And I'm looking at the clock, and our nutshell is getting full here, but I want to ask you a question before I let you go, which is now going to be not focusing on a film or a particular person or all. It just in general about the film industry, the way it's trending right now. Give us your thoughts on it.
Look, I think when you look at the late 70s and the video cassette boom happened, and then we kind of lost the plot a bit, and then we came back, and when TV came along in the early 70s, it took a beat, and then we came back, and the thing is, life is about, everything happens in waves, including electricity and light, and the same thing happening with movies. There will be a whole generation of new filmmakers and maybe actors, and mostly, and I'm going to touch upon that, mostly writers who are going to give us work that will show us, rejuvenate. Let's use that word. Will rejuvenate what we've been up to. Yes, the OTT boom makes a dent, just like TV made a dent, just like the DVD world made a dent. But if you want to survive, you will have to reinvent, and you'll have to come up with stuff that is you can't put down. Let's put it that way. You will have to come up with movies that you can't put down and just brush it aside and say, no, I'll see it later. You've got to work on that newness, that freshness, that uniqueness. I hate to say this. At a point, because it'll look like I'm plugging, but what the hell? I've made my debut, as you said. You started late in life. At 44, I became an actor. Now at 65, I've debuted as a director and a writer. I made my first film, Shabnam, and it's ready for release within a month. Yeah, in a month's time, you'll start seeing the promos for it. I'm very proud of it. I've written it, taken me years. I got an Oscar-winning writer to co-write it with me. It's taken me years to pin him down to co-write with me, but finally it's ready. It's called The Mehta Boys.
Okay.
And I'm really, really proud of the film. It's made a round of festivals already. We did one in Chicago and Toronto and Florence and Ifi, Goa. I'm going to Germany on the 9th. In Berlin, we're doing a screening, and then it'll release end of the month, early this Feb now. So I had to say it because you have to spend time. The point I'm saying, you have to spend time on your script.
Yes.
This is the thing that I keep harping about. I've got. It's something that I believe in. I run classes. I teach. I've become. You did mention I'm a screenwriting mentor, but I have screenwriting classes free of charge for anyone who wants to join.
Good. So tell us a little bit more about this movie. What is it about? Whatever you can disclose.
So I started writing this movie some years ago, in fact, and I realized that even though there were some beautiful scenes, there was a technique that was lacking. So I started doing a lot of courses. I would come to the United States, to New York, and do some workshops, and I met this writer. His name is Alex Dinelaris, who really had only done one film before, and then that film went on to win an Oscar. And then when he won an Oscar, it was a film called Birdman, if you've seen it or heard of it. And then the movie won an Oscar. I said, "Oh God, I've lost my mentor." But but we kind of stayed connected, and I kept traveling to the United States, and we wrote the film together, and it's ready now. It's called The Mehta Boys. It is about a strained relationship between a father and a son. And I'm extremely proud of it. And I'm extremely proud of the fact that I did not say that I've graduated. Now I've been around for enough time to qualify as a writer-director. No, you take your time. You learn your chops. You start from the basics all over again. And writing has to be taught. You've got to be really, really regimental about the way you write. And it's out and happy. And in a month or two, month and a half, we'll be able to see the film. So I'm looking forward to it.
So now we have Boman Irani as we have known you. Of course, besides your earlier careers, we've known you as an actor, and now this filmmaker, producer. You are so many different ways to describe you. I am so impressed with this movie making, and I'm so excited to see this movie that it takes you to, in my eyes, to another level, Boman, to one that is a creator. I think when you are working in a movie, you're listening to the director, you're going by the script, you're going by the story, but here to actually create one, I think that is remarkable.
I think we did touch upon this subject about reinvention.
Yes.
So even as a person who is interested in cinema, I had to in some way, at the age of 55, when I started working on the script, it's taken me almost 10 years to put this together. But I had to reinvent myself to be relevant to myself first, because I can't just turn around and say, okay, I directed a movie, I ticked off one of my bucket lists, and that's it. No, I think it's very important to do it from scratch, to do the long haul, because only then will it I'm not saying it's going to be great. No. I think it's an effort that had to be done in a particular way, through a particular journey, and I did that. And that's what I'm proud of, extremely.
Wow, and I'm sure each one of us listening out there and who are going to watch this production of yours are going to be also very, very proud of you because you put in so much effort. You're brilliant at putting in amazing effort in whatever you do. And as we were talking about it earlier, I'm sure this is going to be also quite. I
hope you all love it, really, honestly. Because it's got a wonderful response in Chicago and in Toronto and Ifi, Goa, and in Florence also. And I just hope everybody, it resonates with each and every person who's ever had a parent. Mm-hmm. There's no way that you can avoid not identifying with the film. So let's just hope that people are, engage with the film. You can identify it, but the film should engage.
Yes.
And that's important.
I'm sure everyone's going to relate to it. We're looking forward to it. I also want to wish you lots of luck with it, because I think luck goes a long way. We were talking earlier about how sometimes the movie didn't take off initially but then worked. So that timing has to be right. So I want to wish you lots of luck with it also, because
Thank
you
you.
put
That's
so
so
much
important. We don't pay enough attention to what the mood of the world is, the mood of the country is, the mood of the audience is. We never know. And then when the mood is just right, and if it all kind of collides together in a good way, that's the luck we are talking about. So you're absolutely right, Shabnam.
Yes, it has to all kind of amalgamate together. Thank you so much for making this movie. And what more? I mean, you've done so much in your life. What more still there to do? I'm sure you have a lot of dreams, a lot of plans. But tell us, what more do you want to do? A role you want to play?
Just before this interview, I just was posting a message to my Spiral Bound group, which is the group of hopeful writers that I mentor. We got a group of about 1,400 people, which started in the pandemic, and we have completed about 780 sessions in the pandemic, since the pandemic, for writers to be mentored, to make sure that you write, and then finally you say after 3 years that, this story is not kind of holding together. Why is it not holding? So there's a scientific approach to the creative arts, and that's what I have been working on with these writers, making sure that they can make careers out of the pen that may not be very productive financially. So that's one. And two, India can come up with some great work. We have great stories coming out of our country. I'm not so sure we convert them into great screenplays, and something happens, we drop the ball, and then it becomes, sad that the story didn't hold through. So that is something I need to do as a movement, which is already underway. We've put in the hours, and I've pledged to put in as many hours to mentor as many young, old, whatever, writers who are interested in making a career out of screenwriting. But strangely, a lot of actors, join classes. A lot of cinematographers join, production designers, costume designers. They just come because they feel everything contributes to the storytelling process. To understand character, to understand theme, to understand all the other complexities of making a film. So I'm doing my bit as much as I can, and I just hope that the mission will bear fruit with some great writers coming out of our country.
So if we have any potential writers or those that need some cleaning up, how can they be a part of your Spiral group, Boman?
So you can go on Instagram and connect with one of our volunteers who takes care of all the registrations, and he'll send you notifications. And anyone is welcome. You don't even have to do a kind of an entrance questionnaire or something. Nothing. Just come. Just show up.
So
and you're welcome. We don't know what kind of spark is hidden inside of you in anyone. We just give that a chance. And anyone is welcome. It's called Spiral Bound.
Spiral Bound.
And Spiral Bound, and you could go to the Irani Movie Tone Instagram account. Irani Movie Tone.
That's your new production house.
That's right. My son is the producer on that. Danish, who's here with me in Houston.
Okay.
And he runs the production side of it.
Okay.
And just anyone can join this, so everyone is welcome.
Thank you for doing this. Looking for that spark. Not many people spend an effort and time in doing that, and sometimes those budding artists hiding out there need to be brought out. So thank you for doing that. And our world is so much smaller now that I feel that it doesn't make a difference if they are here in the United States or in India, but we relate so much to each other. It is a small.
We should make use of that. We should take advantage of that technology.
Yes.
And then just connect and make it smaller, and just people sit up at night, and it's late sometimes or it's early in the morning, No, mostly it's late at night when people sit up to do classes. We have people from Germany and Russia and Australia and the States and Canada who join the Zoom class.
Yes, and that interest brings this particular group together. Spiral Bound, ladies and gentlemen, please do check that out. I'm so excited to talk to Boman Irani this morning. And I'll be talking about your singing before I let you go. But before that, is there anything else you'd like to tell? You have this opportunity to speak at large to the community and say anything else that's on your mind this morning as we start a new year, as we talk about all these new trends and about, of course, starting off with your history and taking you to such amazing pedestals.
So what can I say? All I can say is, we all, at the beginning of the year, we're all charged up, and I hope that charge remains till the end of the year. That is very important. We get so charged in the beginning of the year, and we kind of lose our way with life, with what we consider life. But all I can say is a very important aspect that I need to underline is to remain healthy. You can't do anything without good health, and I feel it's very important. And good health may come through, your dieting, your exercising, your walking, your yoga, you name it. You name it, you can do it. But I always one who speaks of mental happiness. If you're mentally happy, believe me, everything else takes a bit of a backseat. Your health gets a great amount of energy if you are mentally happy. If you are out there grumbling, wondering about tomorrow, worrying every single day of what may or may not happen, is a cause for ill health. You could be the fittest person with the best body and the best nutrition, but if you are upset all the time, angry all the time, grumbling all the time, and finding fault with the world all the time, you're not a healthy person. So for me, remaining happy and positive is one of the best pieces of advice I can give anyone who wants to remain healthy.
The real Boman Irani talking here, not the grumpy old one we saw in Three Idiots, giving us this true advice from his heart. And we here also in our community, and this has become a conversation on many, many topics, work very closely with doctors and health institutions for this, because amongst us sometimes going through some kind of mental problem, they're all amongst us, and sometimes a little bit of help can always improve the situation.
Always.
So let's look around and
but
see.
Eventually, with help or without help, you have to realize one thing. Our very nature is to worry about 500 things. And that is almost like a virus in itself. There's a virus inside of you if you're going to be worrying from morning to night. There's a virus inside of you, you're going to be grumbling from morning to night. There's a virus. You've got to make sure that you've got to take that out of your system. That's good nutrition. That would be the good nutrition we're talking about.
Let's get that positivity, that real bright attitude here in everything we do in the new year. And before I let Boman go, he is in Houston on this trip to the United States. I'm so glad we got this opportunity to talk to him and share some thoughts with him. But I have to talk about his singing. Did y'all know that he is a singer too? And one of the I really like the one that you did with Shankar Mahadevan, and I have it lined up because I'm going to play it for our listeners after we are done. Do you like that one?
I love it. I mean, to just be with Shankar is just such a joy. He's another positive fellow. He's a great achiever, Grammy Award winner. He lost a great friend in the Zakir Hussain Ustad recently, but he is somebody when I'm with him. I'm meeting him on the 4th actually.
Okay.
Flying to meet him on the 4th. We're doing a show together in Delhi, and I just love singing with him.
Yes.
It's an honor. It really
He is wonderful. He just on the stage he's amazing. Just relates so well. We've had him here a few times. We've had Zakir Hussain here a couple of times. I've had the opportunity to interview him also, and that was quite an amazing experience. They are all so accomplished. And you yourself, Boman, can you sing one line for us live here right now? Just
no,
one,
not
just
first
one
thing in
line.
the
I know it's
morning.
early in the morning. I heard you coughing a little bit. Just one line, please. Anything you want, and then I will play your regular track.
This evening I'm leaving for India. All my bags are packed. I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up and say goodbye. Well, that's as much as my voice could take care of in the morning. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you so much. A pleasure and an honor to talk to you. And hopefully we'll see you soon and talk to you again soon.